It's a new month, and as usual, I'm here to talk about books that I read, books that I like, and books that I wanted to recommend. So let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Flor, and I post new videos talking about life in New York City, which you can see behind me, talking about working for yourself, about content creation, about my work in general, talking about books, of course, as I'm going to talk about in this video. If you like what you're seeing, of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below if you're not subscribed already, and expect new videos every single week. With that being said, let's get started with today's video. In this video, and as the title suggests, I am going to be sharing 5 new book recommendations. If you like everything about books and book recommendations, this is actually video number 13 that I've shared here on this channel, and I always share 5 book recommendations in each of these videos. So 5 times 12 means I've shared 60 book recommendations here on this channel. These are going to be 61 through 65, which I know is a lot, but I do like reading. I read around 24 books a year, so it's a lot. But if you like books, you know that's how it's like, and you might find some book recommendations you like on this video or maybe in my previous 12 videos. So if you like that idea, here you're gonna be seeing the playlist for all my book recommendations videos. Now with that out of the way, let's get started with today's first book recommendation. The first book that I wanted to recommend is called The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. So let me start by saying that I liked this book when I started reading it and when I read what the plot was about. It was not my favorite by the end, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. So this book starts explaining some murders that happened at the end of the 1970s in Oregon, and 2 men were murdered in like similar circumstances, and for both those murders someone saw a woman. So there's this rumor about this lady killer going around, but nothing new since the 1970s. Now back to the present, we have the main character of this book, which is Shia Collins. She is a receptionist for a doctor's office, if I'm not mistaken, but on the side she runs a blog all about murders. And of course, she knows about this lady killer mystery and about the woman that was suspected at the time, but finally she was not convicted. So when she finds this woman in real life, she goes to an appointment at her doctor's office. She needs to interview her. She needs to know more about what happened, about whether or not she was the killer. Does she have something to say, something to confess? It's like, she's crazy. She writes about murders in her free time, so of course finally being like face to face with someone that used to be so famous and was a suspected killer seems thrilling. So she starts meeting her like once a week or so at this woman's house and tries to tell the truth about what happened to unravel the mystery. So this idea was good, but for me, I didn't like how the book ends or how the book and how the author solved the mystery of what happened. I don't know, I think this one has very good reviews, and if you like things about murder, mystery, and maybe some supernatural things, you might like this one. It was good, but not my favorite. The next book that I wanted to talk about is called The Club by Ellery Lloyd. So this book got me from the start, from the plot, from the cover, from everything. So in this world, we have something called the home group, and the home group is a very exclusive private members club. So imagine Soho House, but here it's called the home group. But it's the same idea. There are these exclusive clubs all around the world in like main cities, different locations, like different styles. And this book starts with the opening of the new one. This one's going to be called Iceland Home, and it's one located in a remote island that it's disconnected from the world because it has like just one way of going through the water, and if then the water rises, you cannot cross into the island. So that's kind of important. And the most important people are being invited to this party. It's like a weekend, the opening, very exclusive, very rich, uber rich, that kind of style. And of course, things go wrong because otherwise we would not have a book. Someone ends up, of course, dead. So I really like this one. I think I haven't read anything by this author before this, and I like when books have layers. When you are shown something at the beginning and then things change, things start to unravel, you start discovering more about people's lives, details about people's past, how they might be connected, and you finally arrive at this big reveal that you might see some things coming, because I did, but it's a great story, great mystery, and a very good book, and I recommend it. The third book that I wanted to recommend is called The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. So Lucy Foley is someone that I have been recommended on the channel for a while now. I read 2 or 3 of her previous books and I really like them. And when going into this new one that I think was released in 2022, I was expecting more of the same. She's known for doing these like closed room mysteries, meaning someone is killed and one of the people present in that room, that hotel, that island, that location or whatever must be the killer because no one could get in or get out of the room. That's like the whole idea of the locked room mysteries. So when I heard that she had this new book called The Paris Apartment coming out, I thought, okay, it's going to be the same. We have to find out who is the killer. But to my surprise, she did something completely different on this book. And of course, there's a bit of murder, a bit of mystery because it's her style of writing, but it's very, very different from the previous ones. And I feel like it's more complex, more grown up, more mature, and I really like that for her. Now to the plot. So we have 2 siblings, Jess and Ben. Ben lives in Paris in the Paris apartment of the title, and Jess has recently been laid off, something like that, and she wants to start fresh and have a bit of a break. So she gets in touch with her brother and he invites her to stay over at his apartment. But when she arrives, her brother is nowhere to be seen. He doesn't pick up the phone. He doesn't pick up when she rings the doorbell. She finally ends up entering the apartment, but it feels like something is off. Something's going on. The other people living in the building are all kind of weird or special or different, or they all seem to be hiding something. So she needs to find out where's her brother and what the hell is going on. I really like this one. It was very, very unexpected. The ending was good. So Lucy Foley, high five for me. Great book, great evolution from the previous ones, and definitely go and read this one. The next book that I wanted to recommend is called Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. This one was an ARC, an advanced reader copy, which means the editorial gave this book to me for free in exchange for a review, for letting them know what I think about this book. As always, my opinions are honest. My loyalty to say it somehow lays with my viewers, with you watching this video. So I'm not going to say that I love the book if I didn't love it. I am going to always share my honest opinion. So this book is about a group of 5 friends, if I'm not mistaken. If I look like I don't remember these books as much as I usually do, it's because I read them in 2022, before having a baby, before having mom brain and all that stuff. So bear with me if the details are fuzzy. So this book is about a group of friends. It's a brother, a sister, a friend they had from childhood, another girl that the brother knows because they dated or they met somehow at work, I don't remember, and another girl that goes to school with a sister. So this group of people are hired by someone else that wants to recover something. They want to recover these zodiac heads that were looted from a palace in China like 300 or 400 years ago. We have a Julia! So as I was saying, they are hired by someone else, by a millionaire that wants to recover zodiac heads. These zodiac heads, as you can imagine, are like different animals. I don't remember the animals, but let's say like a rat and a dragon, like different like zodiac signs. And they were looted from a palace in China in the 1800 or 1700. I didn't know anything about this, so I started Googling, and the book explains some of it as well. There was an imperial palace back in China many years ago, and because of something that China did with nationals from Britain, the UK came to China and they set the palace on fire, and they stole basically all of the art that was in the palace, which was worth a lot of money back then and is worth a lot of money right now. So Apparently, there's been some controversy about this art for many years now. This book takes on some of that controversy. It's not like everything is like made up. No, not at all. I'm sure there are a lot of millionaires back in China that would certainly pay a lot of money to some people to recover these sculptures and this art somehow, which is what the book proposes. So each of these 5 people have some type of skill. One of them is good with computers. One of them is really good with driving, like driving a getaway car. One of them is really good with art. They know a lot about art. The other one is like really good like getting around with people and maybe knowing how to make people not suspect them or how to get their way. And I don't remember the talent of the 5th one, but you get the idea. So let's imagine like something like Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, but with a museum robbery instead of a casino. So I feel like the idea was great. I really liked the idea of the book and what it was going to be about. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like how, I feel like at the beginning the plot is like really slow with how they get together, how they are planning everything. But then how the book evolves and how it ends, it was like underwhelming for me. I feel like the idea was amazing. But I didn't like the ending, if I have to be honest. I think, though, that this would be a great movie, maybe, instead of a book. I don't know. Maybe it's already coming. I don't know, really. I would give it like 3.5 stars. Not that bad. And one of the most popular books of 2022 for sure. So I would say go ahead and read this one. And yeah, you see that the light is like changing, but I like this like setting with the sunset. Hope you like it as well. And the 5th and last book that I wanted to recommend is called The Couple at Number 9 by Claire Douglas. This one was also an advanced reader copy, an ARC. And I have to say that this book is my favorite out of the 5 of this video. Definitely the best. And I love discovering this author because I read another book by them in 2023. So great experience overall. So this couple, the couple of the title, they have just moved to the house on number 9. It's a house in a small town in somewhere in the UK. And this house was previously owned by the grandmother of the woman that's moving to the house with her husband or her partner. And for some reason, her mother never wanted to live there and never like wanted to inherit the house or anything because she liked like big cities and people and stuff. And this is like a very small town. So the daughter or the granddaughter moves in. And they've been living there for not a very long time. She's pregnant. They're expecting a baby. When trying to do some renovations, trying to like expand the kitchen or something like that, workers come in, they start digging and they discover something, which apparently is a person that died and that was buried in their backyard. So it sucks. It sucks for many reasons. First of all, because you're trying to do like renovations and make something like really nice with your house and finding dead people in your backyard, I think it's never a good idea. And of course, once that happens, the police has to come in. You cannot like go on with the renovations up until that the investigation is like finished. And they start like interrogating her mother, and her grandmother. Her grandmother is actually alive, but she has Alzheimer's, so she's in a home for the elderly and she doesn't remember much. So I think it's a great mystery. It goes back and forth, showing you the past and what happened when her grandmother was alive with that house and what's going on now in present day. And I think overall it's a great book, which I think the thing that I loved the most is that I always say that when you read enough murder mystery books or thrillers, it's like you know what's going to happen. It doesn't matter how much you want to avoid it. You're like, yep, this is the killer, or yep, this is how this book is going to end. And even though that means that you're smart and that you're reading a lot, it also kind of like spoils the book, you know, because you want it to be like a big reveal or like a big thing, or reading the ending like, oh, wow, this was amazing. And if you find out what happens before actually getting to the end, it's not as good. So when I read this book, the ending shocked me. It was like, maybe I figured it out like a page before, but definitely not like middle of the book or anything like that. So I was like, what I thought that the author was like so smart for thinking this story, for thinking about this reveal, for like writing a different kind of thriller, a different kind of like murder mystery book. And I really enjoyed it. And that's why I asked for a new ARC for their new book. And yeah, you can feel that I am excited because this book was really that good. So definitely go ahead and read this one. So yeah, that is it for today's video, for today's 5 new book recommendations. I really hope you like this. I really hope you like this first video of book recommendations of 2023. We are back to doing this. Also, as usual, I have joined the Goodreads reading challenge. So if you want to follow me on Goodreads, you can find me over here and the link will also be down below. Also, I will be linking all the books that I mentioned in this video down below as well, with the links if you want to go ahead and buy them. And also I will be linking the playlist with all my previous book recommendations as well. And speaking of books, I mentioned that I wanted to do something different, and some of you seem to like it, about doing a video talking about books that I read and their screen adaptations. Let's say that they were made into a movie or a TV show, and I watched those and what I thought about them. What do you think? Do you like the idea? I think it would be like something funny and different, and something that means talking about books but in a different way. And I think that sometimes these adaptations are amazing and even better than the books, and some other times they are the absolute worst. So let me know if you like this idea, and I can like pick up like 5 or 10 books and do a video talking about this. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Hope you like these new book recommendations. Let me know what you're reading down below in the comments. Let me know how many books you're planning on reading in 2023. Let me know what you have read recently, what you want to recommend, and I will see you as always on the next one. Bye!